Spam and scams flood Facebook's political ads. Facebook is again under scrutiny for profiting from running junk ads that are fueled by AI and fraudulent practices. According to a new analysis by Tech Transparency Project, roughly 1 in 5 of the platform's top political advertisers engage in deceptive or fraudulent practices. Some of these ads featured deepfake videos of Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders promising government rebates that don't exist. Another altered clip showed White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt announcing a $5,000 relief check. All were scams. Collectively, 63 advertisers bought nearly 150,000 political or social ads over 7 years, spending $49 million. Many of these ads were removed for breaking Meta's own rules, yet more than half of the advertisers were allowed to keep posting. Senator Warren said the only thing worse than the scams was that Meta made tens of millions of dollars from them. Meta insists it's building new defenses, but critics say the company prioritizes ad revenue over consumer protection. Well, there's no doubt about that. As Senator Sanders warned, AI is advancing rapidly, but our protections are dangerously outdated. So what's the real message here? If you see an ad on Facebook and there's some politician's face on it promising you something or looking ridiculous, chances are it's a fake AI, it's a deep fake meant to fool you, trick you out of your money so that Facebook can make more money. It's an outrage. Let's dig a little deeper here. Look, no one begrudges Facebook making money. They are a media company. They make their money by selling ads the same way your favorite broadcast TV station did 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. So yeah, they've got to sell ads. But this idea that they can't ever devote some cash, some manpower, some woman power into scrutinizing these ads, especially when it comes to politics, is indeed an outrage. Now, I gave you examples from Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, and it's tempting to say, well, TJ, those are far left. Of course, if they don't like it, it must be good. Well, guess what? It happens all across the spectrum. There are people putting fake words into Donald Trump's mouth and Ted Cruz's mouth. It's happening all over the place. Artificial intelligence you can use to make deep fakes, to make anybody say anything. And unfortunately, democracy is based on the idea of an informed citizenry making decisions, making judgments, casting votes that in some way relates to reality. That can't happen if reality is fundamentally distorted at every single level and our main communication sources are polluted. So, yeah, I'm in favor of freedom of speech. Everybody says they're in favor of freedom of speech. But this is mixing of speech with commerce, and it's giving rocket fuel to lies that fundamentally pervert our democracy and people's understandings of how the world works. So it's a huge, huge problem. I'll leave it for another day to figure out what the right regulatory fix is. From an individual standpoint, you've got to be suspicious with any ad you see, with any story you see. With me, you need to be suspicious of me. Fact check things. The biggest problem we face right now is more and more people around the world, Americans, but it's happening in other democracies, are so committed to confirmation bias. Here's something I already believe. Here's somebody telling me something I already believe, and yet an inch or two deep. I already thought this person was bad, and now here's an ad. Here's a social media guru, influencer telling me, hey, this person you thought is bad? Oh, wait till I tell you now. They're 10 times worse than you thought, because it turns out they're cannibals and all the nonsense you've heard. And you're like, yeah, I knew I was right. Anytime you hear someone telling you in an ad or a social media post, or for that matter, a mainstream media outlet, if you find yourself shaking your head saying, wow, I knew I was right and this proves it, we have a problem. It's not that you're always wrong, and I like to think I'm not always wrong, but if you spend all of your time consuming information, whether it's ads or anything else, and your constant reaction is, I knew it, this shows I'm right, it means you're not really learning anything. You are not I'll say this and I'll say it clearly. You're not an intelligent person. You're not a thoughtful person. You're not a reflective person. You're not an educated person. Unless ideally, at least once once a day, you're reading something, hearing something, and you're thinking, wow, that never occurred to me. I never thought of that. That's making me look at this whole issue from an entirely different perspective. And the best thing of all, if you really have an open mind and you really are an intelligent person, you're going to read things, watch things, listen to podcasts, other things, and come to the conclusion, wow, maybe I was wrong. That shows actual thinking is going on. That shows you're actually exposing yourself to a range of ideas. And unfortunately, Meta, Google, they're all doing that. Their algorithms are designed to give you more of what you already like and already believe, because they know that's what will make you click, that's what will make you watch, that's what will allow them to sell more ads. Some of those ads are fraudulently created with deepfake AIs, and the problem gets worse and worse and worse. Now, I mentioned it's a bipartisan problem. They're doing this to the White House press secretary, these deepfakes having her say things that she doesn't say. The ads, according to this study, are often aimed at older, conservative users. Some require hidden subscription signups. Singapore has threatened Meta with fines over scam ads. U.S. courts are now allowing lawsuits. According to the FTC, online impersonation scams against older Americans have quadrupled since 2020. Meta says scammers are relentless. I don't doubt that. But you know what, Meta, you make so much money. When Mark Zuckerberg can afford to buy half of Hawaii, I think we can agree Meta could devote more money to fact-checking ads. I know they're not the New York Times. They're not a traditional journalistic media company. They're a platform. But it's not like a platform of a phone company where you can, if I call one person and spew a bunch of nonsense, hey, Billy, the moon is made of green cheese, and Billy hears that, I'm not polluting the minds of millions of kids around the world who've just started taking a science class for the first time. And now I've convinced them the moon is made of green cheese. It's not like that. Facebook is different because Facebook has the power to reach millions of people like that, especially if it's a lie, especially if it's a bit of demagoguery. And that is the real problem.